If you hear a loved one calling your name from between the trees, do not answer under any circumstances. It is already too late for you to turn back. You have just crossed an invisible line where your rules no longer apply, and his hunt begins. You think you are walking through the forest, but the truth is, the forest has just begun to digest you. You know the feeling. You step onto a path you have known for years. The sun is shining, the birds are singing. But suddenly, something shifts. The birds go silent in a split second, as if someone blew out a candle. The light becomes strange, sickly and green. You get the feeling that the trees moved closer the moment you looked away. And then you hear it, a rustle that does not match the wind, the snap of a twig right behind your back. You turn around, but there is no one there, only an old pine and dense ferns. But that is a lie. He is standing right there. He is blended with the bark, his hair is moss, and his fingers are roots. He is watching you, with 1,000 eyes hidden in the canopy. This is the Leshy, the forest lord. He is not a guardian protecting nature. He is a predator toying with his prey. His favorite game is the maze. He will make you walk in circles until you collapse from exhaustion. And then you will become one of the trees that will haunt others. So if you feel a gaze burning into your back, do not stop. And remember, in his kingdom, silence is louder than a scream. There is a border you will not find on any map. It usually runs where the dirt road ends and the dense, ancient forest begins. Our ancestors knew of it, and they instinctively slowed their pace before stepping into the shadow of the trees, because that moment of crossing is physically palpable. Take a step forward. Can you feel it? The air suddenly becomes heavier, cold, and damp. It smells of wet earth, mycelium, and decay. But the worst part is the silence. This is not the peaceful silence of a library. This is a silence as tense as a drawn bowstring. Birds that were singing over the fields just a moment ago fall silent here. The wind that combed through the grass suddenly ceases, as if afraid to stir the leaves. The forest holds its breath. In this moment, in this single second, you cease to be at home. Sunlight struggles to pierce through the canopy, changing color to a rotten, sickly green. The shadows seem longer and deeper than they should be. You get the feeling that thousands of invisible eyes have just turned in your direction. The trees do not rustle. They listen. You have entered the parlor of a powerful host without an invitation. And right at this moment, behind your back, an invisible door has slammed shut without a sound. You are inside. Make no mistake. Do not imagine him as a benevolent old man from fairy tales who tends to the deer. That is a lie. We feed children so they do not fear sleep. The true lord of the forest, the Leshy, the Borrowi, is an entity older than the first human settlements. He is the embodiment of wild, cruel nature. If you have the misfortune of seeing him, your mind may not comprehend what it is looking at. He is a master of illusion. When he strides among century-old oaks, he is a giant. His head brushes against the treetops, and his footsteps make the earth tremble. But when he steps onto a clearing, he shrinks in the blink of an eye. He becomes as low as the grass, hiding in the shadow of a fern leaf. He is everywhere and nowhere. What does he look like? Those who survived the encounter speak of a face resembling bark, of a beard tangled with roots and moss. His skin is bluish like a drowned man's, for it is not blood that flows in his veins, but cold, sticky resin. Some swear he has no eyebrows, eyelashes, or ears. Only two eyes that burn with a pale greenish fire. Pay attention to his feet. Legends say he often wears his shoes on the wrong feet, left on right, right on left. It is a sign of his otherness, a sign that his logic is reversed, incomprehensible to man. He knows no mercy, just as a storm or frost knows no mercy. He is a guardian, but not yours. He protects the forest from you. It starts innocently enough. You are walking a path you know by heart, perhaps looking for mushrooms, perhaps taking a shortcut. Suddenly you lift your head and realize the path has simply vanished. Beneath your feet, there is only moss and ferns. It's nothing, you think? I'll retrace my steps. You turn around, confident. But there is no path behind you either. Just a dense wall of trees that all look identical. That is when the Leshy's game begins. It was called the Glamour, or the Beguilement. The Forest Lord needs no cages or chains. He warps the space around you. You forge ahead, walking straight as an arrow, guided by the sun. You march for an hour, two, sweat stinging your eyes. And suddenly, you freeze. Lying before you is the same moss-covered, skull-shaped rock you passed an hour ago. You have returned to the exact same spot. It is impossible, right? But in his kingdom, the cardinal directions do not exist. North and south are merely suggestions. The trees seem to shift when you are not looking. Paths lead nowhere, or loop like snakes. You begin to doubt your own senses. Was that tree standing here? Wasn't that bush on the left? The forest tightens around you like a noose. You are not lost. The forest has hidden you. And from somewhere deep in the thicket comes a quiet, rustling laugh, like dry leaves rubbing together. He sees your panic, and he enjoys it. The cruelest trick of the Forest Lord is not silence, but sound. When you have been wandering for hours, tired and terrified, suddenly you hear something that gives you hope. A voice. It sounds familiar. It might be your mother's voice calling you for dinner. It might be the voice of your child crying in the thicket, "Dad, where are you?" Or the voice of the friend you came into the woods with, shouting joyfully, "Hey, over here, I found the path." Your heart beats faster, you break into a run, you ignore the blackberry thorns and whipping branches. Help is right there. You run towards the voice, but it moves away. It is always just a dozen steps ahead of you, just behind that hill, just behind that clump of birches. And worse still, if you listen closely, you will notice something is wrong. The voice is too flat, or it repeats the same words over and over with the exact same intonation, like a broken record. This is not a human. This is mimicry. The Leshy steals voices. He knows your name because he heard you talking as you enter the forest. He knows the timbre of your loved ones' voices. He uses them like a fisherman uses bait to lure you into the deepest, swampiest parts of the wilderness. Many people were found dead in the marshes, facing the center of the forest. They ran until the very end, thinking they were running towards rescue. Only at the very last moment did they realize that the calling was not coming from human lips, but emanating from the cracked bark of a rotting tree. Even if you think you are alone, You never are. Do you feel that specific cold prickling on the back of your neck? That is an instinct you inherited from your ancestors. Your body knows it is being watched before your brain registers it. The Leshy does not need to constantly dog your steps. He has his spies for that. Look around. Do you see that raven sitting motionless on a branch, refusing to fly away even though you passed right beneath it? Do you see that owl staring at you with wide open eyes in the middle of the day? In his kingdom, animals do not behave naturally. They do not flee from man. They track him. Every squirrel that freezes in place, every fox slipping through the undergrowth, these are his eyes and ears. They form a living network that relays information about your every step. When you trip over a root, the news is carried by the rustling of leaves straight to the forest lord. When you sit down, exhausted under a tree, the roots beneath your body tremble, sending a signal deep into the earth. You are an intruder in a perfectly guarded fortress. Wherever you hide, he is already looking. The trees have eyes, and right now, all those eyes are fixed on you. Until now, the Leshy has been toying with your mind. Now, he is beginning to lose patience. You will notice it when the silence becomes unbearable. You stand among the trees, the air is dead, not a leaf stirs. And suddenly, crack! Right next to you, with a roar like a cannon shot, a massive, century-old pine tree snaps in half. The great tree crashes to the ground, crushing branches and kicking up a cloud of dust mere meters from your feet. You look up, searching for the cause. But there is no storm. There is no wind. The sky is empty. This phenomenon was called the wrath of the forest. The Leshy is so strong that he can snap trees like matchsticks with one hand, just to block your path or terrify you. This is no accident. This is a warning shot. He is telling you, I am right here, and I am stronger than anything you know. If the tree fell in front of you, you must turn back. If it fell behind you, he has cut off your escape. But if you hear the cracking of wood directly above your head, it is already too late to run. Have you ever wondered why, in ancient forests, some trees look different? Why is that one birch so unnaturally twisted? And why does that oak have a split resembling a mouth, frozen in a silent scream? Legend says the Leshy does not always kill his victims. Death is an escape, and he prefers to collect. It is said that those who succumb to the glamour and fail to find the exit before sunset remain in the forest forever. But not as ghosts. Slowly, foot by foot, they take root in the ground. Their skin hardens and turns into bark. Their fingers elongate, transforming into knotted branches. Their blood thickens into resin. They become living monuments to their own mistake. The next time you are in the deep woods, look closely. Does that strange growth on the trunk not resemble a human nose or ear? Are those two knots not set too close together, like eyes? The old folks believed that when the wind blows and the forest groans and creaks, that is not the sound of wood rubbing together. Those are the voices of the ones who entered the forest years ago and are still trying to call for help, trapped within a wooden shell. So if you lean against a tree and feel a strange warmth beneath the bark, step away, fast. If you think you can defend yourself against him with a knife, an axe, or a rifle, you are a fool. Bullets pass through the Leshy like smoke, and an axe blade will dull against his skin, hard as stone. You cannot win a fight against the forest lord, but you can strike a bargain. Our grandfathers, the woodcutters and hunters, knew that the forest is not a self-service store. It is a marketplace where a strict currency applies. If you want to enter his home and leave in one piece, you must pay the toll. Before you step into the thicket, find the first stump of a felled tree. This is the Leshy's altar. Place a piece of bread sprinkled with salt upon it. Leave a coin, or as a last resort, something personal. They used to say, do not take from the forest more than you need, and never take for free. If you gather mushrooms, leave him part of your provisions. If you cut down a tree, plant 2 new ones. The Leshy is not a demon from hell who desires only evil. He is a guardian of balance. He attacks thieves and those who show no respect. But if you are greedy, if you enter the forest empty-handed only to take, he will collect the payment himself. And usually the price he sets is far higher than you are willing to pay. Sometimes it is your health, sometimes your sanity, and sometimes someone you love. But what if it is already too late? If you made no offering, ignored the signs, and are now running in circles in panic as the sun begins to set, then you have one last resort left: the ritual of inversion. Old tales say the Leshy is a creature of contrary. His logic is the reverse of human order. That is why he wears shoes on the wrong feet and his clothes are buttoned the wrong way round. To escape his trap, you must become like him. You must trick the forest by pretending you belong to it. Stop. Calm your breathing. Take off your jacket, your shirt, your trousers, everything. And then put it back on, but inside out, with the seams showing. That is not all. Take off your boots. Put the left boot on the right foot and the right on the left. It will be uncomfortable. It will hurt with every step. But it is precisely this pain and this strangeness that breaks the spell. By becoming inverted, you cease to be human in the Leshy's eyes. You become a freak, a shadow, something that slips through his rules. Many who returned from the deep woods after days were found just like this, wearing clothes turned inside out, with madness in their eyes. They said that the moment they swapped their shoes, the path suddenly appeared. The trees parted. But remember, do this only as a last resort. For by turning your skin inside out, you change something within yourself more than just your clothes. And suddenly, you break through the invisible membrane. You stumble out of the thicket onto a meadow or the edge of a road, gasping for air like a diver who has just surfaced. The light changes. The sickly green vanishes, giving way to the warm golden glow of the setting sun. You hear the sounds you missed so much, the hum of a distant highway, a dog barking in the village, the ordinary singing of birds. You are safe. You look back at the wall of the forest. It looks so innocent now. Just ordinary trees, ordinary bushes. But you know what you saw in there. You managed to escape, but the forest has taken its toll. People used to say that whoever danced with the Leshy never returns whole. A strange fear remains within you. From now on, when entering a park or even passing a row of trees in a city, you will instinctively lower your voice. You will feel that prickling on your back, that heavy gaze, even in your own garden. At night, you will wake up thinking the sound of the wind outside your window is shaping itself into your name. It is a mark, a sign that you have touched something ancient. The forest let you go, It is true, but that does not mean it stopped watching you. It is only waiting for you to return. Do you think you are safe just because you returned to the city? That concrete walls and bolted doors separate you from his kingdom? You are mistaken. Look around you right now. Look at the floorboards beneath your feet, the window frames, the table you are sitting at, the bedroom door. What are they made of? Wood. Dead fragments of his forest that you dragged into your home? And the Leshy. The Leshy forgets nothing, and he abandons nothing. Old legends say he can travel through the grain of the wood, that he hears every word spoken at a wooden table. So tonight, when you turn off the lights and hear a loud crack from the wardrobe or a creak in the floor, do not tell yourself it is just wood settling or a change in temperature. It is not the humidity. It is the forest waking up inside your house. He is here. Good night. And if I were you, I wouldn't look into that dark corner of the room. That is all for today on Echoes of Legends. Turn off the lights and sleep well, if you can. If you are brave enough to hear the next story, subscribe to our channel and leave a like to keep the darkness away.